Napoleonic period in which King Murat, who was Napoleon brother in law, became the king of Naples.
Voce alta, ragazzi, voce alta.
The palace there are three courtyards. The
Quando
courtyard
fate
of the former, the courtyard of Belvedere, and the courtyard of Versailles. And in the most recent wing hosts since 1929 the National Library of Naples with over 2 million books and manuscripts.
Grazie mille, grazie.
Ferdinando de Castro ordered the building the Royal Palace. This one.
Capito? Quando riprendi che parlo, avvicinati, se non si sente niente.
The Royal San Carlo Theatre was built to celebrate the day name of Charles of Bourbon, and it was inaugurated on the 4th November 1737. Its architect, Giovanni Antonio Medrano, designed also the royal palaces of Capodimonte and Porto.
On the 13th of February 1816, the Royal San Carlos Theatre was completely destroyed by a terrible fire and rebuilt by Project Campanile Polini by order of His Majesty King Ferdinand I. The auditorium has gotten horse to shape, and on ceiling we can see a fresco representing Apollo and Minerva, and the others are Antonio and Giuseppe Camarano.
The great impresario Domenico Barbaia was the rich man who took to Naples the great artist and to the final rebuilt theatre. The famous artists in the 19th century were Rossini, Bellini and Donizetti.
Nowadays, the Royal Theatre of San Carlo is considered the oldest opera house still operating in the world. And just to mention it, the Theatre alla Scala was built in Milan 41 years later.
Two of the most important structures in Castelnuovo are the Baron's Hall and the Cappella Palatina. The Baron's Hall, once called the throne room, is the main hall of Castelnuovo. It's called Baron's Hall because during the reign of Ferdinand I of Naples, he invited some barons that were conspiring against him with the excuse of his nephew's wedding. But this was a trap, and the barons that were present were immediately arrested and sentenced to death. We can see from the peculiar shape of the Baron's Hall, looking at the upper vault that is heavily inspired by Brunelleschi's Santa Maria del Fiore, and looking at the shape, we can see that it has a very particular shape. It's structured like this because during when the throne room was used, the king could hear everything the people sat on the seats on the left and on the right were saying, but the people couldn't hear what the king was saying. Moving on to the Cappella Palatina, or Church of Santa Barbara, the Cappella Palatina once hosted the paintings of the famous artist Giotto. But those paintings were destroyed during the earthquake of 1456. After they were destroyed, the Cappella Palatina remained completely empty.
Allora, moving to the sides of Castelnuovo, after we enter into the main gate, we can see the central courtyard. On the right courtyard present many arches, and opposite we can see the balcony of Castelnuovo, where the new king was also announced. Just on the right of me, stays to the Baron's Hall. So, looking at the indoor parts, we can see two important structures in the history of Castelnuovo: the Palatine Chapel and the Baron's Hall.
Of King Charles I of Anjou, when he last defeated the last monarch of the Stoffer dynasty in 23rd of August of 1268. And he took the throne of the two Sicilies and moved the capital from Palermo to Naples. But unfortunately, he wasn't the king to live there. He was instead his successor because he died when the castle was built.
Ok. Tu cosa go?
No, io.
Yes.
Castelnuovo during the year was changed, and nowadays it isn't the same to the ancient reign. The first reconstruction of Castelnuovo happened in 1443, when the Aragon king Alfonso conquered the throne of Naples and entrusted the reconstruction of Castelnuovo to the architect William Sagrera, Spanish architect. The reconstruction ended 36 years later when Alfonso was died.
The entrance to Castelnuovo The entrance to Castelnuovo is decorated by a big triumphal arch made by the sculptor Francesco Laurana from Florence that commemorates Alfonso of Aragon's entry to Naples. In the front face of the castle we can see 3 of the 5 round towers that surround the castle.
Here. Sorry.
That surround the castle. The tower were round to protect the castle from cannons. The tower on the right of Triumphal Arch is Torre di Guardia or Guard Tower. The tower in the middle is Torre di Mezzo or Middle Tower. The tower on the left of Middle Tower is Torre di San Giorgio or St. George Tower. In the back of the castle there are 2 more towers.
What is there? The gold tower.
The gold tower or Torre dell'Oro is yellow and
In diretta facciamo una spiegazione in inglese, certo, a un turista inglese.
San Francis of Paula from town of Calabria was born on the 27th March in 1415 and died in the royal palace in France of Plessis-les-Tours in 1507. The king who gave me the right to build this monastery was Ferdinand II of Aragon, who gave me the right to build this monastery here in the nowadays Piazza del Biscito, which was originally called Largo Palazzo. This was planned by Joachim Murat. Which planned to build this monastery here.
The construction of this square was continued by King Ferdinand I of the Two Sicilies, who converted the final product into a church dedicated to St. Francis from Paula, whom he had made a vow in case he had regained his kingdom. The architect of this new church, reminiscent of the Pantheon in Rome, was Pietro Bianchi from Lugano, Switzerland.
The enormous church you can see 34 columns made of the particularly Mondragone marble, used also in the construction of Caserta Royal Palace. Under the church was also created a particularly large vault in which were originally supposed to be placed the royal family graves, but never happened. In fact, the royal family members are buried inside Chiara Church.
The 3 questions here representing King Charles and King Ferdinand I of Bourbon were masterpieces by Antonio Canova and Antonio Canova. San Francisco of Paula, who had the title of Protector of
the King of Two Sicilies.
Exactly. And now today he has the title of Protector of the Italian Sea People for the miracle of the process.
The Strait of Messina on his clock. Okay. Very good.
Vogliamo chiedere com'è andata?
Did you enjoy the?
Yeah, it was great. Thank you. I didn't know any of that.
Anything about it? Okay.
It was really good just to hear about it. There's not really any information. I appreciated learning a lot about the.
Where are you from?
I'm from the United States.
Where exactly?
Michigan.
Ah, Michigan.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Enjoy your stay in Naples.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much for your attention.
Grazie. Dice cosa ha detto però.
Ha detto che viene dal Michigan e degli Stati Uniti d'America.
Viene dal Michigan e degli Stati Uniti d'America e comunque ha apprezzato il fatto che eravamo noi a spiegarlo perché qua non si è scritta nessuna informazione per nessuno.
Tu hai capito tutto questo, hai capito?
Sì,
è buono. Tutti 10 qua vogliamo, professore, tutti 10. Bravo, veramente bravo. Segretario, soldi spesi bene. Posso interrompere per adesso?
Una cosa l'avete detto, mi ricordo, non so se avete detto che c'è un pezzo della vostra zona. Queste colonne sono fatte di marmo di Mondragone. Questo è il marmo di Mondragone che si è estinto, tanto che ne hanno preso.